Okay, so now let me start. Other will join. So this is hands-on workshop on data analytics for the beginners. So those who want to ask me some question, please write in the chat window. So here you can see currently I am using this Google Colab. Just for this teaching learning purpose, here I have created this data frame, right? That I am going to use. So let me first import pandas SPD, right? And also actually it is not required, but it is good if sometime required to install this numpy as np. And those who are new to this, we can execute this cell by pressing this or by pressing shift enter. As you can see, now here it is connecting and now it is allocated and shortly it is now initializing, and you can press it to reconnect. Now you can see it is almost connected. So this way, now again it is initializing. Now our Google Colab is connected with Google server, and as you can see here I have imported pandas as pd and numpy as np. And just to save our time, here I have created one data frame. So let me copy this. As you can see here, explicitly I have created some missing values by this np.nan. This is numpy, and by that we are going to use nan. So it will generate some missing values that we are going to fill. And as you can see here, our data frame with name, marks, gender and email column. And total we are having these 7 records. So we can write our first question. So I want to display top 3 rows of the data set, right? I'm repeating the question. I want to display top 3 rows of the data set. As you can see here, this is our pandas data frame, which is pointing to df. Okay. So here I have imported 2 libraries, pandas as pd and numpy as np. And using Python dictionary, I have created this data frame, right? It's a very simple, like name, then marks, then gender and email. And using this pd.dataframe. Dataframe is a method of pandas. You can see pd that I have created alias of it. So that's why here I mentioned pd.dataframe, and here I have passed this Python dictionary. And here I have created one variable df1. By that I have created this data frame that you can see. Now our question number 1. So actually I want to display top 3 rows. Top 3 rows of this pandas data frame, right? Of the data set or the data frame. Data set. Right, I want to display top 3 rows of the data set, any. For the teaching learning purpose, here I have created this a very small data frame, but you can use any. You can download any data set from the Kaggle and then you can perform this simple data analytics on it. So now in this question, I am going to display top 3 rows of the data set. So first we have to write df1 dot this df1, which is pointing to our data frame, right? In our first question, I am going to display top 3 rows of the data set. So this df1, this is pointing over here. So to display top 3 rows of the data frame, we have to use this head method of pandas data frame. You can see. Please remember, by default this head method is displaying top 5 rows of the data set. But here you can pass any integer value. So let me write 3, because as per our question, we want 3 rows of the data set. So let me execute this cell once again. You can see now it is displaying top 3 rows of the data set. So as per your requirement, you can write any integer value over here. So this way we can display top 3 rows of the data set that you can see over here using head method of pandas data frame. Now let's move to our next question. We want to check last 3 rows of the data set. So for that, again we have to write df1, which is pointing to our data frame, and tail method. And let me execute this cell. By default, this tail method is displaying last 5 rows of the data set that you can see, last 5 rows. But as per our question, we want to display what? Only last 3 rows of the data set. So here you can pass 3. You can see now it is displaying only last 3 rows of the data set. So this way we can use head and tail method of pandas data frame. Please remember, our data set is very small. In a one scan we can view entire data set, but if you are having very large data set, then these methods are very useful to check the top 5 rows of the data set. And you can see by using this tail method, we can know totally how many rows available in our data set, right? So we can check last 3 rows. By default it is displaying last 5 rows of the data set. So this way we can display top 3 rows of the data set and last 3 rows of the data set using this head method and using this tail method. So now our next question. So what we want to display all the rows, but except the last 2 rows of the data set, right? So I want to display all the rows except last 2 rows of the data set. So for that, and also I want to use head method. So we can write df1.head. And please remember, here you can see I have passed this positive value. By this question I want to show you that also we can pass negative value to this head method. Let me write -2 and let me execute this cell. As you can see over here, now it is displaying all the rows except last 2 rows of the data set. You can see. So here we can pass negative value as well in the head method. So this way we can display all the rows except last 2 rows of the data set. So here we have to pass -2 in the head method. So now our next question. So in this question I want to display all the rows, but except the first 3 rows of the data set, right? All the rows except the first 3 rows. So again, let me write df1, which is pointing to a data frame, and tail method. And here let me write -3. By this example, I can show you that in head method we can pass these positive values and also these negative values. This way, positive values and as well as the negative values. So now what we want is, we want to find the shape of our data set, right? We want to find shape of our data set. So for that we can write df1, which is pointing to our data frame, and this shape attribute of pandas data frame, right? Please remember, it is not like this, it is shape. So shape is an attribute of pandas data frame. This shape is not a method. You can see output is Python tuple having 7 rows and 4 columns. So if we want to display in proper manner, then we can write number of rows and this df1.shape and index 0 and print number of columns, right? df1.shape 1, and let me execute this cell. Let me execute this cell once again, and here you can see not dot. You can see total we are having these many rows and total we are having this many columns, right? So this way we can apply this shape attribute. And please remember, in pandas we are having the pandas series and pandas data frame, right? What you mean by pandas series? So pandas uses a 3 data structure to hold the user data: pandas series, pandas data frame, and panel data, right? What is pandas series? It is 1D labeled array. Please remember this, those who are new to this. So series can hold heterogeneous values. One series is equal to 1 column, right? By those who are new to this, please remember, it can hold heterogeneous values in pandas series. So keep in your mind, pandas series is nothing but 1 column of pandas data frame. By this data frame you can see total how many pandas series? 3. 1, 2 and 3, right? Total we are having 3 pandas series in this particular data frame or data set. Same over here, you can see in our example total how many pandas series in this data frame. Please write in the chat window. In our data set total how many pandas series, right? Yes, 4, because 1, 2, 3 and 4. So in this data set total we are having 4 series. By that I want to explain you. Please concentrate over here. This shape attribute, you can see currently I am applying this shape attribute on pandas data frame, but we can apply this shape attribute on pandas series as well, right? So let me write df1. You can see our data frame. This is our data frame, and let me take one series, marks. You can take any, and you can write shape. A one series, it is not a data frame. So it is having these many rows. So please remember this shape attribute we can apply on pandas data frame as well as on pandas series. This is entire table which is called as a pandas data frame. But name, marks, gender and email. Total we are having 4 pandas series. So this shape attribute we can apply on pandas data frame and also on the pandas series, right? That you can see over here, right? So now our next question. Now in this we want to get information about our data set. So here we want to get information about our data set, right? Means which type of information? Total number of rows, total number of columns, data types of each column and memory requirement, right? That we can do with just one method, df1.info method of pandas data frame, right? You can see total we are having this many rows with index 0 to 6, and you can see total we are having 4 columns, and you can see column names, name, marks, gender, email, and these many non-null values means total 7 non-null values in this particular column, total 5 non-null values in this particular column. Means you can see from here we can see total we are having these many values, but here 2 values are missing in this particular column. Same over here, these many non-null values in this gender column, these many non-null values in this email column, and you can see data type for each column, object, float, object and object, and here d types column. So in our data set, 1 column with floating point value and 3 columns with string means object, and this is memory usage of our data set or data frame, right? So this way we can get information about our data set, means total number of rows, total number of columns, data types of each column, right, and memory requirement. You can see with just one method, info method of pandas data frame. So now our next question. Now I want to check null values in our data set, right? I want to check null values, means missing values. Because of some problem these values are not recorded, right? So these values are missing value or missing values or null values, right? So first we have to write our data frame dot, and we have to use isNull method of pandas data frame, and let me execute this cell. You can see it is generating this data frame with boolean values. You can see true and false. This false means here is no missing value, here is no missing, but here you can see true means these values are missing in this marks column. So now let me perform the sum of these values, right? You can see 0 means there is no any missing value in this name column. Here is 2 values are missing in this marks column, and 0 values missing in this gender column, and 0 value missing in this email column, right? So this way we can check null values in our data set, that you can see, right, using isNull method of pandas data. So now our next question. Here we want to get overall statistics, right, about the data frame or data set, right? So we want to get overall statistics about our data set. So how we can get? With only one method, describe method of pandas data frame, right? Let me execute this cell. You can see, please remember by default this describe method is showing statistics only for numerical columns. You can see because in our data set or our data frame only one numerical column, marks. So that's why it is displaying these statistics only for numerical columns, that you can see count 5 because 2 values are missing. Total 7 rows but 2 values are missing. That's why here it is showing count 5. And this is average value, and this is standard deviation, and you can see minimum value in this particular column marks, and you can see these are percentile values 25%, 50% and 75%. Means what? In our data set 25% values are below 87, in our data set 50% values are below 98, in our data set 75% values are below 99, and maximum value in this marks column is 99, right? So I'm repeating, count is 5, this is average value, this is standard deviation, minimum value in this marks column, maximum value in this marks column, and you can see 25% values are below 87, 50% values are below 98, and 75% values are below 99. So using this describe method we can find overall statistics about our data frame. Suppose if I want for numerical columns as well as a categorical columns, then here we have to write include all. Top value in this particular name is Adya and female, and this is this, right? So this way, name, marks, gender and email as per because we can't find mean, standard deviation, 25% value, that's why it is showing here NaN. It is not a number, right? If we write this parameter include is equal to all, this describe method will show us statistics for numerical columns as well as categorical columns. Please remember this describe method. Okay, so now our next question. Hope I am clear, all of you. Yes or no? Can I continue? So now our next question. So now I want to find unique values from the gender column only. I want to check the unique values available in gender column. So let me display first our data frame. You can see this is our data frame, and you can see if I want to display all the column names, then we can write this column attributes, right? We can write this column attributes of pandas data frame. You can see all the columns, but as per our question we have to work on this gender column. So how we can write df1, and this is called as a bracket notation, right? Because of this column attributes, I can directly copy this column name and I can paste it over here, right? You can see now it is displaying values of this gender column and dot unique method of pandas data frame, right? This is very important method, please remember, right? You can see now it is displaying unique values available in this particular column or pandas series. You can see male and female. So this way we can find unique values from particular column, and good if it is categorical columns. For the numerical columns, which is called as a continuous column, it will display many values that you can see. Let me take marks having many unique values, right? You can see. And please remember this unique method we can apply on pandas series, not on pandas data frame. Let me check df1. I want to apply this unique method on pandas data frame, entire data frame. You can see attribute error. Data frame object has no attribute unique, means we can apply this unique method on particular column, means on pandas series, not on pandas data frame. You can see, otherwise we will receive this error, attribute error. Data frame object has no attribute unique. So please remember this unique method we can't apply on entire data frame. This is only apply, or we can apply on the pandas series only, that you can see. Okay, so this way we can find unique values from particular column. Here I have taken gender or marks error. Okay, now our next question. So in this question we want to find the number of unique values, right? We are interested in number, not in this string. Total we are having this many values. No, we want how many. We are interested in number. So let me first display our data frame. So now again let me take the example of this gender. You can use any data set and you can write n unique, right? Not unique but n unique. You can see output is 2, because in gender column total we are having 2 unique values, male and female. That's why it is showing 2 over here, right? So we are interested in number. I have applied this on particular series or particular column. Now n unique on entire data frame. You can see name total 7 unique values, marks 4 unique values, gender 2 unique values, email 7 unique values, right? So please remember unique method we can apply on pandas series, not on pandas data frame, but n unique method we can apply on pandas series as well as on pandas data frame, right? That you can see here, right? So this way we can find number of unique values from the pandas series and pandas data frame. So now our next question. So now here I want to display what? Count of unique values in gender column, right? I am taking random column, you can use any, right? Count of. So by that I want to explain you value counts method, right? So this is our df1 and I want to access only gender column, right? And here you can write very important method which is called as a value counts, right? So value counts method which returns a pandas series containing counts of unique values, female 4 times and male 3 times, right? So this way we can use value counts method that will return a series containing counts of unique values in this particular column, right? You can see it is in descending order, 4 first and then 3. So this value counts method by default displaying in descending order. Now we want to handle the missing values. This is very common in data analytics. So I want to handle missing values, right? There are many ways we can handle. You can see in our data frame or in our data set, you can see in marks column 2 values are missing, right? 2 values are missing. So first way, or we can directly use drop NA method, right? That will drop entire row with missing values, right? If any missing value, then it will drop. You can see, let me execute this cell. So this is the first solution. You can see these rows, this row, first row and this fourth row. These rows are dropped. You can see. So we can directly use drop NA if we want to drop it, right? But always this is not the good solution, right? Randomly we can't drop. And here we can pass many arguments, right? So how many arguments we can pass? Which, how, right? That I'm explaining only one, how. So here we can pass any, right? Any means if any value is missing, drop this particular column, which is by default. You can see in this row, if any value, 1 value, 2 value, 3 value, any value or values are missing, drop that particular row. But what I want is all. If all the values are missing, then only drop the particular row. You can see. Now here only one value is missing, not all, right? So you can see it is keeping as it is and as it is. So here we can pass how parameter, right? Either I want to drop having any missing value, then drop it, or if all the values are missing in this particular row, then drop it, right? So this way we can drop now, but this is not a good solution, right? Let me display our data frame once again. I want to fill this missing value, right? So how we can use this? Using fill NA method, right? Or I want to replace this NaN value with 0. You can see all the missing values are replaced with 0.0 because it is floating point value, so it is converted to 0.0. So we can use, if I write here 999, then you can see all the missing values are replaced with 999, right? So this is the second method by that we can fill these missing values, right? Marks column. Let me use only this marks column, right? So this is our marks column. I want to fill this missing value. So we can write dot fill NA, right? Fill NA. And I want to fill this missing value by average value of this marks column. So we can write marks dot mean, right? Either you can use a mean for average, or if you want to fill with max as per your requirement, you have to study your data set properly, or mean, right? But mostly I'm using mean, right? So this will, you can see, let me execute this cell df1, right? You can see now these values which are missing, which is replaced by mean value, right? But you can see when I write df1 over here, there are some missing values. Can you see this, all of you? So please remember, if you write like this, then it will not perform in place operation, right? It is not in place. So here we have to assign back, right? So for that we can write marks is equal to this statement. Let me execute this cell. So now I am replacing all the missing values this mean, and now let me execute this cell. Now you can see. So first we have to perform this operation and we have to assign back like this with this equal sign. Now you can see, now our values are reflected over here, or this way we can handle missing values. You can see there are many ways, but this way we can handle the missing values in this particular column, that you can see, right? So now let's move to our next, and I want to display the marks between 80 to 90, right? I want to find the total number of students having the marks between 80 to 90, right? I'm interested in numbers and also I'm interested in marks column. So let me first work on this marks column. Let me display this marks column. You can see this is our marks column. So as per our question, we have to take this, right, and both are inclusive. So again on marks column, if it is less than equal to 90, right, and if there are two conditions, then we have to put in this parenthesis, right, like this. So marks between 80 to 90 both are inclusive. Let me execute this cell. You can see now boolean values. False means this condition is false, which is not satisfying this condition. Here is true means it is satisfying this condition. Here is true means it is satisfying this condition, right? So now we are interested in sum, so we can use this sum function that will perform sum of true values. You can see output is 2 values in marks column which is greater than equal to 80 and less than is equal to 90. 2 values, right? And also this is one method. Also we can use another method, right, which is called as a between function, which is easier than this, right? So you can see this is our data frame and we are interested in marks column, marks, right, only in marks column. And here we can use between method, between, right? So we not required to write this condition. If you know this between method, then we can write 80, 90. Please remember in between column both are inclusive. Let me execute this cell. It is generating series with boolean values, right? And when this condition is satisfied, here you can see it is showing true, otherwise false. So we can perform the sum of these boolean values to get our answer that we are interested in. We want to find total number of students having the marks between 80 to 90. You can see output is 2. Am I clear all of you? Can I continue? Okay, so now our next question. So name of the students with lowest marks, right? I want to check, right? So I am doing df1.columns. It is easy for me to check the name either in uppercase or lowercase, right? Because it does matter. And as per our question, we want to work on this marks column, right? You can see this is marks column. And we are interested in the lowest mark. Please concentrate, right? We are interested in lowest mark. What I want to find? Name of the students. Name of this, I am interested in name of the students with lowest marks, right? So we are interested in this minimum. You can see minimum is 83 that we are knowing, but we are interested in name of the students, right? So I'm going to compare or this lowest marks with entire marks column, right? And let me execute this cell. Now you can see it is generating this boolean series, and here it is satisfying this condition. We require to find minimum value, and I am comparing this minimum value with entire marks column. You can see, and now we have to pass this boolean series into our data frame to get the proper value. You can see this is the name with lowest mark, right? But as per our question, we are interested in name of the students, not this entire row. So here we can write name column only. So this is the students having the lowest mark, right? So this way we can perform data analytics on as per our question. Am I clear all of you? So now what I want to display, top 5 students by their marks, right? By their marks, right? I want to find top 5 students in our class, right, having this as per our marks column, right? So there are number of ways by that you can do, right? So let me show you 2 ways, right? So df1 and let me write columns, right? So total we are having this many columns, right? And we are interested in marks column. So in bracket notation, I am using this marks column. You can see this is our marks column, right? And one method is this is our marks column, right, that we want to work. But let me remove this, and on data frame we can write n largest method, right? N largest method, and I want top 5, as per our marks column, right? So we can use directly n largest method. So first n rows, here n means what? N largest, two parameters, right? N rows ordered by given columns. So this is column, I want n rows, here is 5, ordered by this marks column, right? Let me execute this cell. You can see, right? But we are interested in name, top 5 students name only, right? So these you can see 99, 98, 93, 93. So these are top 5 students in our class. You can see it is showing in this descending order, but we are interested in name of the students, right? Name of the students. So here I can write in bracket notation name. You can see first number is this, second is this, third is this, right? And also if you want to display the marks, then here you have to write 2D array, right? And I want to display marks as well, name and marks of top 5 students in our class. You can see name and marks and top 5 students. Here is any value you can pass. This is n, first n rows ordered by this given column marks, right? So we can use this n largest method for our question to find top 5 students by their marks, and we are interested in name and marks only. Another way, I want to display top 5 students by their marks, right? So we can write df1, which is our data frame, dot, we can use short underscore values, right? Short underscore values, and by marks column, marks column, right? And by default this short underscore values display, by default it is following ascending order. So for that we have to make this ascending is equal to false, because I want to display in descending order, right? Let me execute this cell and let me check what happens. Okay, right? So now it is displaying this all, right? And we are interested in top 5. So for that I am using head method. You can see top 5, and again I am interested in what? Only name and marks, and here we can write name and marks. Let me execute this cell. You can see name and marks, same over here, right? So either you can use this n largest or short underscore values. Now this question is very simple, right? I want to find average value inside this marks column, right? So df1 dot columns, or let me display our data frame because it is very small, right? I have created just for the teaching learning purpose, right? And df1, and here we can use marks column, and we have to write mean, right? You can see this way we can display average marks, right? Same you can apply different methods, right? There are many methods in marks. We can check minimum marks in our class. We can check marks dot max, maximum marks. You can see, right? So this way we can apply different methods on this pandas series. I want to show you apply method, right? Apply method. This apply method we can apply on this particular pandas series, means on this particular column. But what I want to do, you can do this in a many ways as per your data set. But here for the teaching learning purpose, what I am doing, I want half marks, 50% marks, and I want to create one new column with half marks using this apply method, because I want to show you how we can use this apply method. So that's why please remember, here I am going to create one new column that contains 50% marks, half of it, right over here. Let me first write df1, and we have to work on marks column, that you know, because we want half marks. And here we can write dot apply method, and for that we have to create one function. I am creating one function with name marks. You can use any name for this function, but I am using this marks, right? Now how to create this function in Python? So here is the function name. You can see marks. If you directly write this normal division, it will display the marks with floating point values. So let me execute this cell, and let me execute this cell as well. Type error, marks takes 0 positional argument but 1 was given, because here we have to pass this x, because it will pass the marks over here as a x. Then marks divided by 2, it will apply this method one by one on these marks row wise. So let me execute this cell once again, and let me execute this cell once again. Now you can see we are getting this marks, which is half of this mark. If we use floor division, then you can see it will show you only this floor division. You can see 0 0 0 only, right? Also you can write this normal division as well, or we can use floor division, right? You can see on this left side, let me write one new column name with half marks is equal to this statement. Let me execute this cell and this cell as well once again. Now let me check our data frame. You can see this way we can create new column, right? So this question just to show you how we can create new column and how we can use this apply method on our pandas series. So now our next question. Now again I want to explain you very important function, map function. Let me first display our data frame, right? So I can perform some. Please remember, for teaching learning purpose I am using this column, right? Let me use this gender column, right? And I want to convert this string male to 1 and female to 0. So let me write df1 and this gender column. You can see now it is displaying this gender column, right? Dot map, and it is very simple, right? In map function we have to pass Python dictionary with your name male. I want to replace it with 1, and female I want to replace it with 0. Let me execute this cell. You can see male with 1, you can see male with 1 and female with 0, right? But as you know, to modify our existing data frame, either you can assign back, or let me create one new column with male and female, or also you can assign back to modify our existing data frame. You can see. Okay, let me display our data frame once again. Now you can see new column is created with male is equal to 1 and female equal to 0. Before using this map function, first we have to check how many unique values are there using this unique method, and then we can use this map function. I want to drop the particular column. So for that I have to write df1, which is pointing to our data frame, and drop method, right? And here let me copy this column name and let me paste it over here, right? And please don't forget to write axis is equal to 1. Please remember this axis is equal to 1, which is representing columns. If you write 0, then rows. So here I want to drop column, so that's why here it is necessary to write axis is equal to 1. If not, you can see, let me execute this cell. You can see male underscore female not found on axis, because by default axis is 0. It is searching for rows, and there is no any row with this male underscore female. So for that we have to write axis is equal to 1. You can see this particular column is dropped. Okay, this column male underscore female is dropped, but if you write here df1 once again, you can see the column is there. Because please concentrate, this is not in place operation. In place, right? In pandas it is called as in place. In place means it is not modifying our original data set or original data frame. So what you can do is, here we can use parameter. Please remember, this is very important parameter. In place is equal to true. If you write this in place is equal to true, it will modify our existing data frame and it will remove it permanently. By default value of this in place is equal to false. In place operation, please remember this is in place operation. I want to sort the data frame as per the marks column, right? Sort underscore values, right? Marks column, sort by marks column. You can see it is in ascending order. You can see 83, 87, 93.2, 93.2, 98 likewise. But I want in descending order, so I have to make ascending is equal to false. Now you can see our data frame is in descending order. Now our next question. Here what I want to do, I want to display, let me write name and name and marks of the female students only, right? I want to display name and marks of the female students only. So let me first display our data frame. So df1, and we are interested in what? As per our question, this gender column, because display the name and marks of the female students, and here is male and female. So we are interested in gender column. So let me write df1 in bracket notation gender. You can see we can use this relational operator and female. Now you can see true, true, because this condition is become true over here. And here we can pass these boolean values in our data frame to display that particular row. You can see only female. But what, as per our question, we are interested in what? Name and marks only, right? Not require this many information. So here you can write name column and marks column, right? You can see name and marks. So this is one way. By that we can display name and marks of the female students. That you can see name and marks of the female students. There are another way as well. So for that you have to remember one function, right? So let me display our data frame once again. So this is our data frame, and we have to work on this gender column, right? Gender column. You can see, and we can use this is-in method, right? Is-in method, and we are interested in only female students, right? And let me execute this cell. You can see we are getting this boolean series or series with boolean values, and let me pass this into our data frame to display particular rows where it is become true. You can see, but as per our question we are interested in what? Name and marks only. So we can write name and marks. Let me execute this cell. You can see that I want to rename the column, right? Because when you download this data set from the Kaggle, right, sometimes you require to rename the columns. I'm going to rename marks column with final marks, right? Just for the teaching learning purpose. As per your requirement, you can rename it, right? So df1 dot rename, and columns, again here we have to pass Python dictionary. And what I want to replace this marks column, so I have to pass as a key, and I want to convert into final marks. Just I want to show you how to rename it, right? Nothing else. Marks is replaced with final underscore marks. Again, this is not in place. Either you can use in place or you can assign back. Okay, so this way we can use rename to rename particular columns. Any number of columns, right? Just you have to write again and again this key value pair in a one line. Here you can write another key value pair if you want to replace email with some name, whatever, right? So just comma, and you can write any key value. Sometimes or required to concate these two columns or two data frame, right? Because sometimes what will happen, we are having the training data set and testing data set as well, right? On Kaggle that you will find. So I want to concatenate two data frames, right? Let me copy this original data frame. So I have not required to change anything, and let me check. I'm copying this, and because I require the same number of columns. So this is our data frame, and actually let me copy this, because renaming another I have created this many data frames, right? So let me copy this and let me paste it over here. This is our df2, right? And let me name marks gender email, right? Name marks gender and email, and let me write pd dot concate, and let me pass now df1 and df2, right? And I want to store in df3 another data. Let me execute this cell. Okay, df3 now, right? You can see this is our data frame 1, and here is our new data frame which is added over here, or new data set. But here you can see it is creating one problem of indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again it is 0, because here you can see in our data frame 2 only one index 0, right? So for that we have to write ignore index is equal to true, right? Let me execute this cell and let me execute this cell once again. So now you can see if we are ignoring, now it is become our one data set or data frame 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this way we can concat two data set. How you can select particular rows or columns? So I just want to explain you very important function for data analytics, lock and iLock. Let me select some random rows and columns. So I am using lock, right? And I will explain you shortly difference between lock and iLock. So here we can use slicing. So all the rows, but I want columns from marks to gender. You can see marks and gender, all rows. This column means all the rows, and marks and gender. Please remember, in a lock, group of rows and columns we can use by their labels. Please remember, we can use these labels only. We can use these labels. In place of this, you can't write 0 and 1, because please remember, by default position of this is 0, this is at 1, this is at 2, and this is at 3, right? Index of this column is 0, 1, 2 and 3. We can't use that index in lock. Access a group of rows and columns by labels only. We have to pass these labels if you are using lock. And please remember, in lock, these both values are inclusive, right? These both are inclusive. So let me display with iLock, then you can understand. df1.iLock. Also you can see it's an integer lock. So here we can pass first row, this one. First row and 0, 1 and 2. I want second column. So we can write 2. So here we can write index. You can see value at this is female, right? Or I want all the rows and second column. You can see male and female, this one. 0, 1, 2 and 3. I want email. So I have to write 0, 1, 2 and 3 by index. So 3. You can see all the rows, right? So this way we can use lock and iLock. Please remember, in lock these both values are inclusive. Here first one is inclusive and last one is exclusive in iLock, right? And in lock we can only use labels. But please remember, in iLock, if we want to access a group of rows and columns by integer position, by their integer position, you can see 0, 1, 2, 3. Here position of name column is 0, marks 1, gender 2 and email 3. So this way we can use lock and iLock access the particular rows or columns. So this is our data frame. So now what I want is, again this is I am using for the teaching learning purpose, right? I want to combine, or I want to create new feature from name and marks over here. And the column name I want is name marks, right? So many times we require to create new features using two existing features. So let me write df1 and marks. And I want to use plus, right? And df1 and marks. Now if I execute this cell, you can see what will happen. This, right? Name plus. Okay, let me here use marks and let me here use name. Actually I am trying to merge name plus marks. This is object and this is floating point value. You can see can only concatenate string value only, right? But I want anyway this. So I have to convert this marks column into string. Right? I want to convert into string. So if I convert like this, then also it will create some problem. So for that, let me use apply method. Please remember, if you can directly write string, then it will create some problem. So I am writing apply string. So this will apply string to each and every values over here. And you can see Priyank and marks, this and marks, right? But you can see it is combining these two. So let me create the space in between and then let me combine and let me execute this. Now it looks proper. and let me separate it with comma. Let me execute this. You can see name, comma, marks, and I want to create this new column with name underscore marks. So this way sometimes we require to create new features or new feature from existing feature. Now you can see, let me display our data frame. You can see new features with name underscore marks is created from name and marks. You can see name comma marks, right? You can combine two features from our data set and create a new feature from available features. What I want to find is, I want to find the highest average value as per gender column, right? I want to find highest average value per gender, separate for male and female. So for that, you can see I have to use first group by function, right? So group by gender, right? So it will group by gender, means it will separate this by male and female. And what I want, marks, right? Find highest value per marks, right? By marks column, right? You can see it will give this object, right? But I want highest average value, so I can apply here mean, right? Group by gender and marks. You can see female 93.66, in male 92.50. Average marks in female 93.66, for male 92, right? So this way we can use group by. So group by gender, you can see it is group by gender, male and female, and I want average marks, that you can see over here. And also sometimes I require, suppose if we want in ascending order, here you can use sort underscore values. As you know, by default it is in ascending order. You can see 92 and 93, right? And if you want in descending, then you have to write ascending is equal to false, right? That you know. And you can see if I check the type of it, if I want to check the type of it, what is it is returning? You can see it is a pandas series. It is pandas series. It is not a pandas data frame, right? We require in pandas data frame, so we can visualize it, right? So let me try to underscore frame. I'm not sure whether it is working or not, but let me try. This is gender and marks. Now you can check the type of it, because now I have converted this into pandas data frame to pandas series. You can see now it is pandas data frame, right? So you can use this to underscore frame to convert anything from pandas series to pandas data frame. You can see now it is in pandas data frame. You can see, right? If I remove this and let me execute this cell, it is pandas series, and to underscore frame to convert into pandas data frame. Now our next question: what are the top 5 most popular email address or email providers available in our data set? Let me check our data frame, df1, right? It is very small, right? But here you can see these are some email address, some from Gmail, some from Yahoo, some from Hotmail and Yahoo as well, right? But what I want top 5 most popular email providers, or top 3 or top 2, whatever, right? Available in our data set that I want to display, right? So for that, so from email, let me create one empty list, right? To store our output. List 1 is equal to empty list. Please concentrate what I am doing. It is very interesting, right? What our question is, what are the top 5 most popular email providers available in our data set? Gmail, Yahoo or Hotmail. So I am creating one empty list, right? And for email, I want to rotate df1 and this email column, right? This email column. You can see email is in capital I, email column, right? Let me rotate. I am taking value one by one, and which is available in this email variable, right? And what I want to do, let me write email dot split, as you know, right? Email dot split, and I want to split it with @ sign, right? Okay, so what I am doing is let me first access this email column. Please concentrate, right? Email column. Right. Okay, these are email. I want to execute just first one, right? What I am interested in Gmail, not in Priyank or @ right? I am interested in gmail.com, yahoo.com, hotmail.com. So if I write split over here and I want to split, I want to divide this entire email address into two parts. This is part 1 and this is part 2, right? So I want to separate it with @ sign, right? Let me execute this cell. You can see output is list. Now our email is separated by this and this because of this @ sign, and I am interested in what? Gmail.com. So it is at index number 1. You can see same I want to do for each and every email addresses, right? So let me make it comment, right? So it is split over here and I'm interested in only first, and I want to append it this all inside our list, empty list, right? I want to append these all email providers in this empty list. Let me execute this cell. Right now let me check this list 1. You can see Gmail and other. Now what we can do is we can create new column with this, right? So just let me create, or let me write df1, and I'm creating one temporary column only, temp, right, with this list. Let me execute this cell. Now you can see our df1. So I have created this new temporary column just contain the email providers, gmail.com, yahoo.com, right? But as per our question, we have to display top 5 or top 3 most popular email providers, right? So for that we have to write df1 and our temp column. Temp is in uppercase, yes, no, it is in lowercase, right? Temp, and we can use value counts method that will count the unique values available in this particular column. You can see Gmail 3, Yahoo 3, Hotmail only 1. So this way we can display top 5 or top 3 as per our data set, right? Most popular email providers. So here we can see most popular email providers are Gmail and Yahoo. But those who are knowing the lambda function, so for that we can directly apply this, right? So email column, right? This is our email column that we can perform in one line, right, using lambda function. And I want to apply this lambda x colon x dot split, right? We can directly use this anonymous function in place of this. So lambda, and I want to split it @ sign, and I am interested in index 1 of the list, right? And value underscore counts and top 5 only, right? And let me execute this cell. Sorry, I have to complete this apply over here, right? Did I forget? Let me execute this cell. You can see. So we can use directly lambda function, which is anonymous function. We can write in a one line using lambda x dot split. This apply method will apply this operation on entire column, email column, right? And I am splitting with this, and I am using index 1 and value counts and head to display these unique values. You can see 3 providers from Gmail, 3 from Yahoo, and 1 from Hotmail in our data set, right? Okay. So for beginners, it's well and good up to this. You can just do the practice, right? So now if you have any query or doubt or anything that you want to share, now you are open, right?